Okay, it's week number 44, which means we have about 11 weeks left of 2020. Thank God. However, if you're like me, I'm looking at 2021 as the year of the thaw out. And I think that there's going to be a lot more challenges there. And why do I bring that up? Because the way that you actually handle that from a communicative standpoint is going to be directly related to your commission dollars. I think that there's going to be a lot more challenges. I think that there are going to be a lot of bigger problems that homeowners need to solve, and that they're going to be seeking out and seeing a lot more value in their real estate professional. So the agents who actually take the time now to hone their skills and prepare and make sure that they have, they can rebuttal and answer the questions in a very confident and clear manner are the ones who are going to flourish in this upcoming market. So I commend all of you guys for making the time to be on these calls. And for those who are listening and catching this on the on the replay, I commend you as well. So we start out every day with the fundamentals. Number one, you can make up in skill what you lack in numbers. Again, I'm a broken record. Everyone at my office will tell you I am a broken record. I practice what I preach. I drink my own Kool-Aid. I practice a lot. And you can make up in skill what you lack in numbers, which means you don't have to call so many people if you're good. If you're not that good, you need to talk to more people. So I would say talk to a decent amount of people and be good, and that's the best of both worlds. Number two, the person who asks the questions will always control the conversation. This is a very direct point of view. If you're not asking the questions, you're not the one controlling the conversation. When you go to the doctor's office, the doctor asks you questions. He's controlling the conversation. If you're talking to an attorney and they're asking you questions about your situation, they're the ones controlling the conversation. If you're the one answering, you're not controlling the conversation. Now, there could be a battle. There could be a battle between who's controlling the conversation, or if you really think about it, when you have rapport with somebody, when you're having a conversation, someone, a friend, a family member, you're asking questions back and forth. You're asking and answering questions. No one's really controlling the conversation. But in a sales environment, when you're prospecting, when you're looking for someone to sign a contract, if you're not asking those questions, you're not controlling the conversation. And so therefore, you're just going to have to accept what the outcome is of the situation. You cannot change a person's perception or belief, only they can. I promise you, you cannot tell somebody something and they're going to say, oh, wow, thanks for telling me that. That changes everything. Never happened. But what you can do is you can ask questions, and you can ask questions to get them thinking about it. And through their thinking and through their thought process, they can change their own perception, right? There's a lot of things going on in today's world. There's a lot of things going on in everybody's market. The economy plays a big one on them. The real estate market is huge in everybody's market. And there are certain beliefs. There are beliefs that it's better to wait until next year to sell their home. Well, depending on what their goals are, that might be true. But if their goal is to sell the home for the most money in the top dollar, in my market, and I think in everybody else's market, that's not true, right? So, but you can't change that just by telling them that. You actually have to ask them questions so they can come to their own conclusion and have that light bulb pop off on their head. Number four, you don't have a lead until you know their why and when. Otherwise, you're just prospecting. I've talked to a lot of real estate agents who have all these like grandiose ideas about how they can maneuver and talk to people. But the problem is that you're going to spend a lot of time sitting there just chit-chatting when they might not even be in the market to buy or sell a home. So you don't have a lead. Don't even call it a lead until you know their why and their when. And if you go a little bit further back onto that, if they don't own a home and they don't want to sell it, or you don't, if you're prospecting, you should be calling people who own homes and actually live around your area and want to sell. Two of those you can get from your title company or whoever your loan or whoever provides you the data. The third one requires you to call and ask them if they're planning on selling. But when you get that, then you have to ask them, why are they selling and when do they plan on selling? Those three things actually cultivate a lead. When in doubt, mirror an objection as a question. This can also be used strategically to get somebody to share a little bit more information. But if you totally get stumped, now nobody should be getting stumped on any of these objections, because I'm doing this consistently every Tuesday and Thursday. And last week, if you guys were on, I went through all the objections, and 50% of the objections that everybody's getting is, I want to wait until next year. I want to wait until after the elections. The other ones that are popping up, they're all the same objections. So I got a question, or not a question, but a suggestion to do all new objection handlings every week. The thing is, we've ran out of them. We've done every objection. Now we're just recycling. So the only thing different between it's not the objection that's going to be different. It's going to be the scenario that's going to be different. And if you're following a process, if you're following a prospecting script, and you're following, and then you're nurturing, you're doing your objection handling, and you're sending out a pre-meeting packet, and you're confirming an appointment, and you're going on the listing appointment, you shouldn't be getting all kinds of crazy objections within each one of these sections. You'll never get better at anything without practice. You'll never get better at anything without practice. In the history of planet Earth, nobody's gotten better at anything without practice. Yes, everybody has some natural ability. There are some people who are better naturally building rapport with people, having communication with people, but the people who get better, the people who are always at the top of the chart, are always the people who practice. So without further ado, that's what I got. I want to go to this week's objections. So let me pull out this, and we're just going to hammer through these. So this is this week's objection handlings right there. So yesterday we want to wait until after the holidays. Okay, now this could be, we want to wait until after the holidays. We want to wait until after Christmas, which is the holidays. We want to wait until after the election. That's a big one. We want to wait until COVID is gone. That's a big one. They're all the same. They're all the same objections. So if you're saying that we want to wait until after the holidays or any of those other scenarios, they're all going to be the same. So you need to practice this. So here's the deal. Here's what I've been working on. Here's what I've been training agents on. Now, I firmly believe with all my heart and soul, with my 23 years of experience, I firmly believe that if someone is selling their house, if somebody wants to sell their house in the near term, then they're absolutely foolish not to take advantage of this crazy market that we're having. And it's my job and I talk to agents about this too. So when agents actually talk to me and say, well, I want to wait until next year. That's interesting. Why is it that you want to wait until next year? Right? And let them tell you. So going back to this, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, that's interesting. If you don't mind me asking, okay, that's a softener. It's making it so you're not so intrusive. You don't need to use a softener, but you need to have more rapport if you don't. So, Mr. and Ms. Seller, I totally get it. A lot of homeowners are thinking that they want to wait until after the holidays, or wait until after the election, they're waiting until after COVID, they're waiting until after, all kinds of crazy stuff. A lot of homeowners are doing that. If you don't mind me asking, why do you think that why is it waiting till after the holidays best for you? And let them answer, right? And they're going to give you a thing. Now, when I'm talking to agents, New Year's resolution says that you always start going to the gym on January 1st. Don't start in October. That's way too early, right? You always want to start on January 1st. And that's the same case with real estate agents. And a lot of homeowners are going to be thinking the same way. See, they don't have the same market knowledge. They don't know really what's going on. Most people only know what's going on based on what they see on the news. And they think that things are just awesome sauce, right? And things are awesome sauce, but things are only going to be awesome sauce until they're not. Right? Now, there's a lot of things that are going to be expiring, a lot of programs going to be expiring, a lot of downward pressure that's coming onto real estate next year. That's why my firm belief is that. So when people ask me about, or people say they want to wait until next year for whatever reason is, it doesn't matter, insert the reason. First of all, I want to know why. Why do you think that waiting till next year is a good plan? Okay. And then let them share that with you. And really, the answer doesn't really matter because it's going to be your rebuttal. You do want to repeat and acknowledge it. Well, I just think that, the market's going to be better. There's some uncertainty going into the market, and the market's going to be better. Oh, so you think that the market's going to be better? You're uncertain. We're going into an uncertain market, but you think that it's going to be better, right? Well, Mr. and Ms. Seller, would you mind if I share with you a different point of view on that might change the way that you look at things? Would that be okay? See, guys, now I'm asking them permission. I'm going to go directly opposite of what they're doing. And if I just went directly opposite and I told them, then that's not going to bode well, right? The reason why I did that, the reason why I'm asking you permission is because I want your permission, because now you're bracing for it. Okay, yeah, sure. Most people won't say no. Now, you might get people who actually say no, and then you just hang up the phone on them, right? But most people, most human beings, if you're talking to them, if you're having a business conversation, you're the realtor, they're not. They'll listen to your opinion. But when you go this heavy on them, make sure that you ask for their permission. So, okay, so there are 2 points of this whole conversation. Number one is that there are really, really, really smart people on one side that says that everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. Okay, have you heard those people? Yes, I've heard those people. Okay, now there's equally as smart people, equally qualified, and on the other side of this issue that are saying the exact opposite. They're saying that you better put your seatbelt on, and this is going to be a bumpy ride, stand by, right? Those are the 2 things, okay? Right now, we know that homes are selling in the fastest they've ever, for the most money ever in humankind. And we know that there's a 100% probability that if you get your home on the market right now, that you'll you'll reap those rewards. Now, we wait until next year. We go into, now I turn into an infomercial. Now I'm doing all this stuff. We go into next year, there's a lot of uncertainty. And Mr. and Ms. Seller, would you agree with me that both of those sides can't be right? It can't be complete doom and gloom on one side, and it can't be sunshine and rainbows on the other side. Can we agree that both of those guys cannot be right? One of them's going to be wrong? Yes, Brett, one of them's going to be wrong. Okay, so is it who gets to decide who's going to be wrong? Well, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. That's the definition of a gamble. So we can take 100% chance of selling. There's a 100% probability. If you put your home on the market right now, we can sell it for top dollar in the quickest amount of time. But yet if we wait, go into uncertainty, now there's a 50-50 gamble that you might make about as much as you could, but you might start chasing the market down. So which one is a better option for you? Right? Now, guys, this is why you're going into this knowing their why. Their why might not be all about money. Their why might not be about time frame. Their why might be a condition, and so therefore they have to wait until next year. Now, really, nobody really needs to wait until next year. I mean, somebody can sell and then rent. That's possible. Inconvenient? Absolutely. Impossible? No. Right? It's your job to ask those questions. Those are big challenges. The salesperson who solves the biggest challenges is always the person who's going to be making the most money. So that's it. So that's objection 1. That's what we did yesterday. We'll pay you a commission if we bring you a buyer. Okay. Now let's look at this. There are 3 parts to through you getting a lead to actually closing and getting getting your commission check. You have the prospecting part of it, right? You're searching. You're out there hunting. And then you have the objection handling and question and the nurturing part of it. And then you have the appointment part of it where you're actually getting them to sign the contract. You should not be getting this, we'll pay you a commission when you're sitting at the kitchen table. That should not happen, okay? You'll likely get this. You should be getting this either through the nurturing part, through the objection handling, through, now the nurturing part means that, they want to sell they own a home, they want to sell it, they're in your primary area, and you already know their why. Well, I guess you don't need to know their why, but it has to be, you at least have to know they want to sell it. So we'll pay you a commission if you're bringing a buyer, should not come at the kitchen table. So here's the thing, so Mr. Seller, so what you're saying is that you'll pay a full commission to a real estate agent if in fact they bring you a buyer. Am I understanding that correctly? Yes. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what is your definition of a full commission? Look, guys, you know well as I do. Some of them will think that 1% is a full commission, right? 2%, 3%. You got to ask that question. Now, whatever they say, accept it, right? Well, we'll pay you 1%. Well, we'll pay you 2%. Well, we'll pay you 3%. Oh, okay. So you'll pay 2% if I bring a buyer. Terrific. Well, Mr. Seller, one thing that I do, I'd like to actually take a look at your home. One thing I do is I never show my buyers to a property that I've never seen. So I'd like to see if I could stop by just for a few minutes to have you give me a tour of the property. Do you think that you'd be able to do that sometime this week? Right? I want to go out and see that. Look, this guy is giving this objection to every single person. Most people are not trying to get out there. Number one, you should be previewing property. I believe that every real estate agent, if you're selling houses, that you should be previewing property. Number two, if you have a for sale by owner or an expired who are now at a point where they'll say that they're paying a commission, they're halfway there, right? They're halfway there. They have accepted the fact that they're going to pay somebody. And most of the time, their game plan is let's try it for 30 days. Let's see if we can sell it on our own. And then we'll hire with an agent. So if that's the common strategy, see, they think it's all monumental, right? They think that they just reinvented the wheel, that they just came up with this strategy where this is the strategy that's always been going on. So we'll pay you a commission if we bring you a buyer means that you got to get face to face with them. Table the conversation that you would normally have with someone on a phone, get them to do a commitment that you can come out and talk to them, and then have that conversation with them while they're walking through the house. They own a home, they want to sell it, and they live within your market area. That's good enough for me to actually go down there, preview the property, and then find their why and their when they're actually walking through and you're actually having a conversation with them, build rapport with them. You know, why do you want to sell this home? When do you want to sell it? What, you know, if it's an expired listing, what is it that stopped you from the last time it sold? You know, the whole thing. Things don't change, right? You got to differentiate yourself from everybody else. Everybody else is doing, you know, I was talking to a guy, big door knocker. And here's the thing with COVID. There are three traditional sales activities in real estate. You have telephone prospecting, you have door knocking, you have open houses. Now, COVID shut two of those three down, right? Now all you have is telephone prospecting. Everybody's going after expireds. Everybody's going it for sale by owner. Nobody's practicing. At least the new guys are going into it. So you've got to expand for that. So very few people are actually trying to convince them to go into a face-to-face because they don't see the value in it. Now, in our market, the average commission is like a $20,000 gross commission. So I would take that bet, right? I would take that odds. Plus, I get to go preview a property. What do you do to get homes sold? Okay, that's a great question. If this should be coming up on prospecting, again, this should not be coming up at the kitchen table. So what do you do to get homes sold? You know, Mr. Seller, that's a really great question. What I do before I meet with somebody is I send out a pre-meeting packet. And in that pre-meeting packet, among other things, it's going to list my 22 Brett's awesome way to sell homes. And so I'm going to, before every meeting, I send that to you. So if we schedule a meeting today, I'm going to get that sent out to you. Do you think that you'd be able to, you know, look at that for the next 5 or 10 minutes before we meet? Well, yes. Okay. Well, can't you just tell me on the phone what it is that you do to sell homes? Well, yeah, I could actually tell you how I could sell homes, but I don't necessarily know if that's going to be it's going to be a long enough conversation. What I'd like to do is schedule a time for you to meet with you at your home and send you over our pre-meeting packet, which is going to outline Brett's 22 awesome plan to sell homes, which will actually share with you exactly what we do. Is, you know, could we do that? Right. So the whole thing is I want to push them off to sending it. Do not try to go down your 22-point list on what you do to get homes sold, because now you're not selling. The whole point here is to pre-qualify them and get on at the alpha, get them to an appointment and list them. Another way you could go at this, you know, that's a very, especially if it's an expired listing. You know, Mr. Seller, that's a really great question. If you don't mind me asking, is there something specific that you're looking for in the next agent you choose? Well, no, I just want to know what you want to sell homes. Well, you know what? I do what it takes to actually sell a lot of homes. Are you familiar with, you know, how many homes I've sold and what I've done in the area? Yeah, I've seen your signs in the yard. Or no, I haven't seen your signs in the yard. Well, you haven't seen the signs in the yard because I sell homes, right? I don't list homes, I sell homes. So, you know, for me, you know, the sign's only up in the yard for just a little bit of time. So where do you get homes sold? That's that one. We're going to wait until after the holidays. Okay. that could be easily changed. We already did that on objection 1. So what we'll do, because that's going to be Thursday's objection. Let's just go like this. Let's go COVID passes. We're going to wait until COVID passes. Guys, now here's one thing that you have to acknowledge on your own belief system. Never in human history has the human race beat out a virus. So anyone who says that they're going to wait until after COVID goes away, they're looking for a very long market time, right? I think I shared with you guys last week, or last Thursday, is that I heard an article that the bubonic plague was like breaking out in some area. So we haven't even eradicated the bubonic plague. And that's a lot scarier. That name sounds a lot scarier than COVID-19. But we're going to wait. But we already talked about this on how to do this in step 1. So that's step, not step 1, but we want to wait until after the holidays. Same objection, same strategy, different reason. I've never heard of you. Why would I want to meet with you? This is where we talk about repeating the question, repeating what they say, their objection, as a question. You've never heard of me? No, I've never heard of you. That's interesting because I sell a lot of houses in the area. I've been in the business for a really long time. Do you know any other agents in this marketplace that have sold as many homes as I have? Well, no. How do I know that you've sold that homes? That's a really great question. And in fact, that's exactly the reasons why we should meet, is because most homeowners are looking for ways to sell their home in the fast amount of time for the most money. Is that true for you? Yes. Okay. So if I had a way that you felt comfortable and confident that I could sell your home for the most money and top dollar, then would you at least consider hiring me for the job of selling your home? Well, it depends. Absolutely, it depends. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly does it depend on? Well, it depends on if you have sold a lot of homes. Absolutely, and I'll share with you how many homes I've sold. Is there anything else that it would be, conditioned on? No, I just want someone to sell my home and get me the most money. Terrific. So would you be willing to at least sit down with me for 30 or 40 minutes this week so I can just share with you exactly what I do to what I've done in the last 23 years that have sold X amount of homes in this exact area? Would you be open to that? Okay. It's just moving down the line, guys. So let's see here. Guys, I've gone through all those. One thing I want you guys to take from this, there is no such thing as a new objection. There's no such thing as a new objection. Every single objections that we go on are ones that every single person gets. Now remember, we're a North American role-playing group. We're in every time zone. We got people up in Canada, that are getting the same objections that us in California are getting, right? Same thing. Sellers are sellers. Same motivations, same wants, same desires. Therefore, same objections, same questions. Your job through the process is to satisfy those comfortably, confidently, and with clarity. If you don't have confidence in what you're saying, they're not having confidence of what you're saying either, right? So, awesome. I got 8:55. I have got to move on to my next meeting. I am totally committed to try to not ever be late. So I am going to go ahead and bid you guys farewell. For those of you that attended live, thank you for attending live. For those of you that are catching the replay, we're going to do this again on Thursday. Between now and then, I'm really going to dive deep and try to find that objection that nobody that we haven't practiced. But if we get the objection that we haven't gotten or haven't practiced, because nobody's getting the objection. So I'll have to think that one through. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for today. Thanks again for showing up live. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Those of you that are in Irvine, if you've been evacuated, my office is open and we can support a lot of people. So, all right, guys, talk to you later. Take care. Bye.